All right, clarifying your month or your theme of the month is the Hanged Man. So some of you are needing to make some sacrifices personally, relationship wise. You're gaining some sort of wisdom. So coming into the month for your theme, this is you being self-aware about maybe your actions, the type of people you're in contact with. So let's see how this plays out for the month of December. Okay, so we're going to start with your current position coming into the month. And you have the Ace of Swords. So right off the bat, you are definitely thinking logically. You're trying to figure some things out. So if you're dating, this is very powerful. The Ace is saying, look, I hold the power in my hands to dictate how my future is going to go as far as dating wise. So you're starting to realize that you don't have to have the drama. You don't have to have bad dates. You don't have to have bad experiences, because you can change a lot of things about it, right? You can change your attitude. You can change the type of people that you're picking. You can change the type of people that you're allowing into your life. I feel like some of you have kind of dated whoever came along because it was a numbers game, which can be true to a certain extent. But there were some people that you dated or that maybe you went out with that you knew, your gut, your instinct, your third eye was telling you, this is not a good fit for me. Right off the bat, you knew maybe words, the way they spoke, certain words they said that triggered, oh, this could be a game player. This is somebody who's not being genuine. So it feels like coming into this month, you're seeing things very logical. You're like, okay, well, if somebody I'm talking to, if he or she online or he or she in a meetup group says this word, this word, this word, or they, talk about hanging out at somebody's house on the first date or something, then you're not heading in the direction you want, unless that is the direction you're looking for, which is more of a physical or a lustful type relationship. It's like you're seeing things clearly coming into December, and you're realizing that some of the bad dates you've had, or, some of the unpleasant experiences have almost been self-induced, because your gut and your mind is saying, don't do it, or, you're not getting a good feeling about this, but you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. So you felt kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, and now you're coming into this month like, no. If it's not feeling right, and if it's not feeling like a good fit for me, I'm just not going to do it. If you're looking to reconcile, this tells me that you are on the end of having the decision-making power, so to speak, in whether you reconcile or not. Now, I'm sure some of you, again, will say, no, that's not true. And this is a general read, but this is telling me, for the most part, Capricorn is in power this month as to whether you're going to pursue the person that you're interested in, whether you're going to answer them. For some of you, it feels like you may be in contact, but it's very brief, or it's like maybe somebody's reached out kind of casually with a hello, or, a poke on Facebook. I don't see like a lot of major communication going on. And I feel like if you were to communicate, the cards would be in your hand, so to speak, that you would be the one making the decisions. It feels like maybe you were the one who was wronged on this, and not that you need to point fingers, because that's not going to help anybody, but you're kind of looking at things going, okay, we've been through this before, and he or she said that, they were going to change, or, this person just hasn't been treating me right lately, or hasn't been showing me that they truly care about me, and I need a break. And that's what I've done. And so it really does feel like you harness the ability to go or not go, to move or not move on this relationship. And you're really thinking about it very logically on whether it's going to be healthy for you to continue or not. The next card you have is any hopes or fears coming into the month of December, and you have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is an internal card in this position, and this says that if you're single, you're being bold, but you're keeping your ethics in line. So you're being very logical. You're going to start noticing people wanting to date you, people reacting to you, people starting to, want to be around you and just kind of drawn to you. It's like a magnetic, because the king is saying that you're harnessing this, I'm a really good energy. I'm a really good person to be with. I would be a really good person to be in a relationship with, but I'm not going to deal with any bullshit, period. And, I'm going to be genuine. So I want somebody who's genuine back. And this says, look, that while you're going to be bold and while you're going to be brave and you are going to date and you are going to have a good time, you're going to be very choosy, and not in a bad way, not in a conceited way, just in knowing what's good for you and what makes you happy. And so you're kind of inspiring other people to want to be with you and want to be around you because you are being very genuine about it. And they are reflecting that. And you're going to start noticing people kind of flock to you a little bit in the dating world because they're going to be like, this person has a good energy and they're positive and they put off a good vibe, but they're also not going to play a game with me. Because you have to think about it. And I've done the dating game, so I'm very aware of how it goes. And you have to think that as worried as you are about finding BS and crap and dealing with the games and the drama, they are too. So if they see it come out of you, vibing out of you, that I'm not here to play games, they're going to feel that much more secure in contacting you or wanting to spend time with you or wanting to date you. If you're looking to reconcile, this again tells me that somewhere along the line, this other person has let you down. Some of it could be infidelity, but I'm getting the feeling it's a lot more than that. It's almost kind of like complicated. It's like some of you thought you were heading in the direction of moving in together or getting married, and it just doesn't seem to come to that point. Or every time you get to a different part in the relationship, or every time you thought you guys were coming closer and closer together, it was like a stalemate. The energy just wasn't there. And I feel like the energy was lacking on their end. And so you're kind of coming out going, you know, I want to be with you. And I've explained to you, you know, how I feel, but I'm not waiting around forever. And, you know, you're putting off the vibe of, I deserve a really good person in my life. I deserve to be happy. And I think that's the vibe you're sending out to this person too, is that, you know, if you want to be on this happy train with me, great. But if you don't, I've still got it. You're not going to bring me down. The next card you have is your distant past, which I always read together for singles and anybody looking to reconcile. This is over the past, 5-10 years. This is distant past. It could even pertain to your childhood, etc. I always bring this up because, as you know, we have negatives and positives from our past. So each month, this reminds you of either a habit or something you need to remember to stay away from, or you don't want to get back into the habit of, or something positive to remember to bring forward to develop, develop that into your relationship as well. And you have the 6 of Coins or 6 of Pentacles for this. And this says at some point along the way, you stuck with somebody too long, or maybe you stuck it out longer than you should have because you almost felt bad, like charitable. I know that sounds wrong, but we all do it, right? Because everybody's always so afraid of saying what's going to make them happy, or everybody's so afraid to say no because we people please. Now, Capricorns are one of the stronger signs that don't tend to people please because, you are an earth sign. And at some point you extended yourself and over tried to please somebody that you just weren't going to be able to please. And it wasn't you, it's them. You were thinking, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And no matter what you did, you just it just seems like you couldn't get it right. No matter what you did, they weren't happy. They weren't going to be happy. And it wasn't anything you could control, but you felt like you were being extremely generous in love and money and whatever it was. And you just couldn't change their mind or change the way they felt, or you just always felt like you were failing. And now you're realizing it wasn't me. I did everything I could, and apparently it wasn't enough. Now, to be fair, I mean, you are an earth sign. Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus have the same issue where it's more of a romantic department that sometimes you're very strong signs, right? So you are the type of people that are like, if I say it, I say what I mean, and I'm truthful about it, and my word is my honor, right? And so I think somewhere along the line, you've also learned that maybe you felt like you were giving in a sense of, I'm giving my time, or I'm helping them around the house, or I'm doing this, or I'm helping them with money, or whatever it was. And what they were looking for is like this romantic, sweep me off my feet type relationship. And you're very logical, and you look at things in a logical sense instead of a whimsy type way. And so I think that for Capricorn, you've learned to delve a little more into the romantic side, because of all the earth signs, Capricorn are the ones who can almost transform in that chameleon like of having that emotional being and having those mushy insides when you want to. But you're very good at controlling it. You're very good at not letting it overthrow, the logical nature of a relationship. So the 6 says, look, still put your heart out there. Still enjoy giving and being generous to people that you're going to date or that you're going to meet, or exes, or, if you're looking to reconcile. Because the 6 is saying you wanted contentedness, and that was thwarted. It was thrown off. Somewhere along the lines, you were with somebody who just really didn't appreciate you, is what it comes down to. So still be that giving person. Don't let that chip on your shoulder stay there, but be reasonable about it. Don't give too much of yourself. If it's not working, say it's not working and move on. Even if you hurt somebody's feelings, we all try too hard to please somebody and make them happy. And sometimes you're going to end up unhappy in the end trying to please somebody you're just never going to be able to. The next card you have is your your immediate past. So you have the 8 of Pentacles, or coin. So this is over the past few weeks, past month or so, and this says you're working really hard. Capricorn singles, for me, this says that you're working really hard on you and what you want and what you're looking for. That's why you're coming in with the Ace of Swords, and that's where you have the Hanged Man, because you're self-sacrificing. So you're realizing that there's certain things that you're going to have to kind of change, maybe expectations or the way you're presenting yourself to the universe, which is kind of, like I said here, you're presenting yourself now as somebody other people want to be around, which is huge. And you're working really hard at it. As always, these coins, pentacles, represent you, earth signs, and this is, the diligently working hard Capricorn as ever. So not only are you doing this relationship-wise, or while you're looking for a relationship and dating, you're doing this in other aspects of your life. So you're doing this, some of you are working out, you're getting in fit, you're already setting New Year's resolutions. If that's something that you do, you're working hard at every aspect of your life. Anytime I get like the eight of coins or the Knight of Coins for an earth sign, because that is, the coins represent you guys, it makes me, it lets me know that you're working even harder than the average bear, right? That you are really thinking and being logical about who you want to date. You're really putting some effort into finding maybe different platforms to be able to date on, meeting different people. You're trying to go to the grocery store and just talk to, any Tom, Dick, and Harry in the vegetable aisle, like whatever. You're really putting some effort into it. Then that reflects on the inside of you, because you're putting effort into how you feel internally and how you're treating yourself and how you're treating others. And then that moves on to how you're feeling about yourself health-wise and what you're putting in your body, which then eventually moves into, in no particular order, but, your work life too. You're always very good at balancing work and relationships. And that's what this card says the past couple of weeks. It's almost like you're gearing up for something. That's exactly what it is. Like, love is coming, or you're going to meet somebody special because of the way you've changed your attitude, the way you've changed your outlook, the way you've changed how you're going about dating. So it's coming. So you are revving up. You're working hard at, making the money. You're working hard at being good on the inside, being good on the outside, just overall taking care of yourself. Because it's almost like a mom would nest for a child coming in, only you're nesting for like this relationship that is going to be, finding its way into your life at some point pretty soon. Because this is a workhorse, basically. If you're looking to reconcile, your difference is that you're focusing on work. You're focusing on other things to keep your mind off of this person. You're holding the power, it, and so you're steadily just getting through the day. You're working on, actual work, your job, finances. If you are working out, you're going to the gym diligently. You are working hard, but you're working hard to keep your mind off of the emotional aspects or off of making a decision, because I think some of you just need that break. Some of you really need to look over, analyze, and figure out if A, you want to reconcile with this person, and B, if you do, what needs to change, or what things need to be brought to the table, or what are we going to do different this time. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few weeks, next month or two, it's generally about 3 months out, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. So if you're single, that means you're not going to be single. In the next 2 to 3 months, something will be coming in. It's unplanned changes. The Wheel of Fortune is about destiny, but it's about changing where you are now. So if you're single, moving into dating, and then moving into a committed relationship. This is destiny, and it's also farsightedness. So you're seeing into the future, which is definitely how you're coming into the month, putting out there a more futuristic vibe as to somebody long-term that's going to fit with what you're looking for. So immediately the Wheel of Fortune says these are unplanned changes that are going to happen very fast. Now, you're planning for them, you're working really hard, and you want them. You're sacrificing things, whether it's your, sacrificing pizza and beer because you're trying to get down to a specific weight, or, you're trying to be a little more gushy on the inside instead of, the ever diligent earth sign. So you're gaining a lot of wisdom this month. You're coming in with a really, really good head on your shoulders. And that says these changes are coming, and you know it. And a lot of you know it. And I'm sure some of you are going to say, oh, I don't know. Well, guess what? It's Thanksgiving here in the US. So we're not in December yet, but it's coming. And something's all of a sudden going to change, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to start gearing up. And whenever the Wheel of Fortune comes up, it means fast. And something that my mom used to say to me all the time, and when you're younger, you're like, yeah. But now I'm starting to realize in my own life, when things are meant to happen, like when I changed my job, 10 years ago and found my career, it came fast. It was fast, unexpected, and it's been the best path for me. And so the wheel is saying that's what's coming for you, Capricorn. This person's coming in. It's going to be like lightning speed, and you're working really hard at it. And you will continue to work really hard at it. If you're looking to reconcile, this is the same thing. It's also very quick change and immediate, but it's a destiny change. So either you're in it and you're going to go for it, or you're not. And I think that you're going to make your decision pretty quick. Now, you may just decide to cut this person off. And unfortunately, that is the feeling I'm getting from this reading. When I said that, I did this like deep, and it's that when I get that, it's like, you're just tired of whatever it is. And some of you are probably sitting there going, yes, it's like the same, nothing's changing. It's the same thing over and over. Their behavior's not changing, the lies, the whatever, if it's deceit, if it's, they can't commit, whatever it is. And either it's going to change quickly or it's not, and you're going to move on. That's literally the wheel is saying, look, if you want them back, then go for it now. Decide, hey, let's do this. Or if you want a change of pace, you're going to have to decide that they're probably not going to change. And if how they present themselves now, if that's not what you want, you're not going to get it unless you start making some changes. And that means changing the people in your life.